Hi everyone, Leanne here from Innate Wisdom. So today I wanted to speak with you all about another trauma that happened in my life and what that looked like and what was happening in my body. So when I was about probably about 48, 45, 48, I can't quite remember the date or the year, I was working full time as a teacher. I also was doing my spiritual coaching. So I'd wake up at 6 in the morning and I'd do healings, in America or the UK or Canada, Germany, wherever it was. So I'd do all of those before I actually went to school. And then I'd head off to school about 7:45. And then in the afternoons when I came home, I would then be doing more spiritual coaching with different people around the world or a couple of people that were in Australia, while also running my kids to sport and picking them up and doing housework and washing and cleaning and all of that sort of thing. So life was very busy. I was also on a fair few committees at school, so I was always there after school, organising things and also writing my book. So yeah, I didn't have much downtime for myself. I felt like I was always giving to everybody else, whether it was my school students or parents or to my spiritual clients, running meditation classes at night as well. So life was very full on and very busy. And then I noticed that when I'd go to bed at night, my heart was beating that fast. I could feel it pulsating throughout my whole body. And so I'd actually started to take notice, like count my heart rate for 30 seconds and then multiply it. So I knew that my heart was not at night when I was laying in bed, it wasn't coming down into the 60, around the 60 beats a minute. It was actually more up around 90 to 100, and it was just pulsating through my body. I was waking up in the morning quite fatigued. It was taking me a long time to be able to have the energy to get dressed. I'd sort of sit on the bed to get dressed or to brush my teeth. I was often dizzy from going from sitting down to standing up. I could, throughout the day, at different times, I could feel my heartbeat was racing and, walking or doing different things, I'd get out of breath really easily. So it wasn't until, a particular night I could feel my heart beating. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, and I ended up going to the hospital, and they noticed that my heart was beating way too fast for what it should be when I was laying down. Went to a heart specialist, of course, and started on medication because my heart was basically wearing itself out. It wasn't coming down into a resting state. And numerous tests were sort of done to try to find a reason. Couldn't find a reason, so I just started taking medication. Same as when I had a stroke. Every test under the sun was done, and they couldn't find a reason why I had it. And so at the time, I was really oblivious to what else was going on in my life. I was just trying to, be the best mum, be the best teacher, be the best spiritual coach, just giving to everybody else, not giving to myself, and not really thinking too much about what was actually happening. Asking those questions, why is this happening? Noticing what's happening in my body, the symptoms in my body are meaning something more. I ended up in hospital with that, and they did the camera down, to have a look at my heart, to try to find out what was actually going on. They did find that there was an area in my heart where it's very thin. It's just a thin piece of skin, I suppose you would call it. So they've already said to me, when that thin piece of skin, when it sort of blows, that will, my heart will stop. So that was a bit scary to hear that, because they hadn't picked that up when I had the stroke. They didn't notice that, but they did this time with all these heart issues. So I'm actually on medication now to help my heart to rest and come down rather than wearing itself out, which is great to hear. But again, I just plodded on. I didn't really question. I just thought, this is what happens when you get a bit older. Righty, I'll just take these tablets. That'll help with everything. And was just, again, like I said, totally oblivious as to why this was happening. What was my body trying to keep a secret? It was like all these little blurts of major health issues happening, where my body was trying to hold things in, and this was like the relief valve, or if you think of a volcano, it's like that spurt of the ash going up. It's like a relief valve, which was because I couldn't, continue as I was. So, and that's what the stroke was about, was my body was really struggling, keeping hidden all of my childhood trauma unknown to me. It was in my unconscious, and it still hadn't come out. So I had this heart thing when I was somewhere around 48, and then it's 52 when my memory, my unconscious mind actually then starts to bring forth all of the childhood trauma. So that's a long time for my body to hold that. So I just wanted to share with you, that was my next thing. So 28 when I had the stroke, 48 when I had this heart thing, and then it's 52 when my body and my mind just can't hold it in anymore, and all the memories start coming out. So I'll do another video about all of that later at another time. I hope you're all going well. If you've got any questions, feel free to post them. I'd love to read your comments and to interact with you. And I'm hoping that this might help some of you to be aware of what's happening in your body, or start to question or ask the question why. Okay, I'll talk to you all later. Bye.